As a premier community in Hampton Roads, James City County strives to maintain a high quality of life for all citizens through sound fiscal management and legislative actions. In an ongoing effort to increase transparency, your Board of Supervisors holds public meetings to garner citizen input before making important decisions. Here's tonight's meeting agenda. Stay tuned. The Board of Supervisors meeting will begin shortly.
And then, like, you can't do that.
Where are they?
Hey, Michael.
They're down, 723. What's it,
I don't have anything on that thing.
We don't. No.
Okay.
It's
Michael. Pledge.
the pledge. Yeah, I'll do the pledge. Well, go ahead. I got it. I remember that.
Order this meeting of the James City County Board of Supervisors for a regular meeting. Mr. Stevens, call the roll, please.
Mr. Hipple?
Here.
Mr. Hipple represents the Powhatan District. Ms. Knoll?
Present.
Ms. Knoll represents the Stonehouse District. Ms. Larson?
Here.
Ms. Larson represents the Berkeley District. Mr. McGlennon?
Here.
Mr. McGlennon represents the Roberts District and is Vice Chair of the Board. Mr. Eisenhower?
Here.
Mr. Eisenhower represents the Jamestown District and is Chair of the Board. Sitting to my far left is Adam Kingsman, County Attorney, and I'm Scott Stevens, County Administrator, and it's my pleasure to be Clerk to the Board.
Thank you. May I have a motion to amend the agenda to add a Chairman's Award presentation and the presentation of the county's audit?
So moved.
Okay. Mr. Stevens, call the roll.
Mr. Hipple?
Aye.
Ms. Knoll?
Aye.
Ms. Larson?
Aye.
Mr. McGlennon?
Aye.
Mr. Eisenhower?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay. We will observe a moment of silence and then followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. And for this evening, I'm going to ask Michael Hipple to lead the pledge as his last meeting with the board.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do I get a pen?
I got something better for you. Okay, I'm going to start this evening with the Chairman's Award for a community member. Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize. We have a change of schedule here. We have a proclamation, and you want me to read that from down here? Okay. Thank you, Amanda. We have a proclamation for Delegate Amanda Batten for her service in the state legislature and expressing appreciation for her representation of James City County. Whereas Delegate Batten was elected to the Virginia House of Delegates in 2019, where she served the citizens of the Historic Triangle from the 71st District. And whereas in the House of Delegates, Delegate Batten served as a member of the House Courts of Justice, House Education, and House Public Safety committees, as well as the House Minority Caucus chair since 2022. And whereas as a former legislative aide to Senator Tommy Norment and Delegate Brenda Pogge, Delegate Batten was well-versed in how to get things accomplished at the state level and understood the role of local government in achieving the best for her district and vice versa. And whereas during her tenure, Delegate Batten worked closely with the county staff on countless numbers of citizen concerns and was a regular attendee at county-sponsored events. And whereas during her time in the General Assembly, Delegate Batten introduced a number of bills to assist James City County, including bills to require an accounting of absentee ballots by precinct, to allow the retired law enforcement officers to receive service retirement allowance during employment as school security officers, to add a Fourth Circuit Court judge to the Ninth Judicial District Circuit, and to advocate for the county's desire for the Virginia Department of Transportation to maintain ferry service to Surrey County. Whereas James City County is thankful for Delegate Batten's leadership and responsiveness to issues of our community, and appreciates her commitment to the balanced approach for solving issues, understanding the importance of working with the middle to accomplish things on both sides of the political aisle. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Chairman of the Board of Supervisors of James City County, Virginia, hereby commend Delegate Amanda Batten for her dedicated service to the county and the community. In witness whereof I have set my hand and caused the seal of the County of James City, Virginia to be affixed this 9th day of December, 2025. Thank you very much for your service. Now I think I'm one of the perks of being chairman is that at the end of the year, you get to award commendations to folks on the staff and in the community. And my chairman's award for the community is honoring the Community of Faith mission. Whereas James City County Board of Supervisors Chairman's Award recognizes organizations that demonstrate exceptional dedication to improving the quality of life for residents of James City County and the greater Historic Triangle. And whereas the Community of Faith mission is a faith-based emergency program that serves those experiencing homelessness in the greater Williamsburg community during the coldest months of the year. And whereas Community of Faith mission opened its doors in November 2012 after identifying an unmet need for shelter services in our area. And whereas in March 2025, Community of Faith mission completed its 13th season of providing shelter and meals during the coldest months of the year. And whereas since its inception, Community of Faith mission with hosts and partners have provided 2,832 guest stays, which also included 8,496 meals served. And whereas these services were only accomplished by the dedication of volunteers and host partners that contributed over 2,000 volunteer shifts and over 10,000 volunteer hours. And whereas none of these services would have been possible without the compassion and accommodations provided by the host sites, which include Bruton Parish, Crosswalk, Grace Covenant Presbyterian, Hickory Neck Episcopal, James River Baptist, King of Glory, Life Church, St. Bede Catholic, St. Martin Episcopal, St. John Baptist, Smith Memorial Baptist, Williamsburg Christian, Williamsburg Community Chapel, Williamsburg Presbyterian, Williamsburg Unitarian Universalist, and Williamsburg United Methodist Churches. Now therefore be it resolved that I, the Chairman of the Board of Supervisors of James City County, Virginia, hereby recognize the Community of Faith mission and present this award as a token of appreciation for their dedicated service to James City County and its citizens. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of James City County Board of Supervisors to be affixed this 9th day of December, 2025. Come on. She's going to save her words, but I wanted to, yeah, okay. I wanted to remark that in considering all of this this year, you know, it's one thing that as a member of the Board of Supervisors, we see an awful lot in the community that a lot of folks in our community don't see. And I think that it's important to highlight the problems that exist in our community and the people who are working to try to provide solutions for that. And so it's my honor to honor you all for that, and I thank you so much for the work you do.
Yes, and I just wanted to introduce Kathy, who had the vision and the perseverance and she used to be a lot bigger. Had different kind of hair. But through all that, she's up. But anyway, so if it wasn't for those two,
Okay.
we would not have it.
Donnie just works so hard.
Okay. Thank you so much. Get right there. Okay, we'll ask Michael Hipple to come down. And this is a service award. I got to hold it up to the light to be able to read it.
Yes.
Service award presented to Michael J. Hipple in recognition of your outstanding service to James City County residents as a member of the Board of Supervisors and the Board of Directors of JCSA, January 2014 to December 2025. And I will tell you that we had a little gathering for Michael earlier this evening, and I can remember that, like a lot of cases, Michael and I didn't necessarily get off on the right foot.
Yeah, that's true.
But we got together and we figured out that we needed to work in conjunction with each other for the betterment of the community. And I laughed a lot at his concept of a 7-story Hipple building. And over the years, he brought me along so that we're there. So we do talk to each other, we do listen to each other, but I want to thank Michael so much for his help in keeping the climate of discussion on the board really focused on the benefit of our citizens. And that's a tremendous accomplishment in this job. So, and I know, Barbara, you have to put up with him at the Service Authority meeting, so I'll let you do the presentation if you want to. A woman of few words.
He never says anything at the JCSA meetings.
Well, he always says it at my meeting, so.
No, he doesn't say anything, except he always tells me how to vote. That's it. That's about it. That's about it.
He's a man of few words, but
Man
you're
of
going to
few
hear a
words.
few of them now.
Thank you very much. I thank the board and county staff and the citizens. You know, when you start this job and you want to do what you can for the community and you try to do best you can, and you make mistakes here and there and you figure out what they are. But I want to tell each and every one of you, you have made me a better person, a better leader by everyone who's touched me, good or bad. There was times that some people came up hollering and screaming and all that, but you know, it gave me another look at different things and how to look at different things and how people think differently. And it's made me a better person. And I tell you, the staff you have here in James City County, you should be extremely proud of. They do a wonderful job. They're always there. They're willing to help. They may not tell you what you want, but they'll tell you what you can do. And so that's a big difference. And they're always willing to go the extra mile and help out on anything they can. And our leader, Scott Stevens, is a great leader. He's done a wonderful job. It's amazing what he's been able to do with the county and how he's brought the county along on everything that we've needed. And he does it in pieces. And he thinks it out. And how does this affect? What does this do? What does that do? And he's running at one pace, and I'm running at a pace twice as fast because I think you should be able to do it tomorrow. And you can't always do it that way. And I found the way he does it, it really works well for the community. And he's very loved in the community and with staff as well. And I'd want to thank the board because when I got on the board, there was a lot going on. And what we did is we decided together as a group to work together and to have our fights and have our disagreements, have our arguments and all that, but respect each other. And I think that was a big component. I think the citizens saw that, and I think staff saw that, and they realized, you know what, you can disagree, but at the end of the day, you can have fun and enjoy each other and go, well, maybe I can learn from that. Maybe I can find something different. I think this way, this one thinks that way, and maybe together we can find that middle ground. And I think I wish the rest of the world would work that way, but maybe they'll take the little bit that we have here in James City County and the rest of the United States will run in that direction. So thank you all very much. I've enjoyed working for you. I want to look at the front, but
It is.
thank you.
Hey, our next presentation is the James City County audit presentation. Oh, we've already done it.
Yes, sir.
Scratch that one.
Sorry about that.
It got put on both because we weren't sure when she was going to be here. Okay, we now move to public comment. And I have the following public commenters. Donnie McDaniel.
Thank you. Now that I have the award, you can't take it back. So I can say what I want. Okay, so anyway, I just want to update you. I'm going to do this for a couple months and I'll give you a break. But anyway, I just want to give you an update on what's going on. Since 2012, which you had mentioned, Community of Faith's been an ally to the Historic Triangle in reference to providing shelter to those experiencing homelessness during the coldest months of the year. We've always tried to work with each county and city, and it can be very challenging, but we have been able to save each municipality hundreds of thousands of dollars in housing over the past 14 years. Just the in-kind value for just this year for the churches, if we were to try to do hotel stays or any type of housing, believe it or not, and this is not including food or other assistance, is over $127,000 for 126 nights stay of safe, warm shelter. And that relieves emergency rooms. It helps the police departments and correctional institutions because, as many people, they're cold, they do something wrong, so they can go to jail, so they can have a warm place to sleep. So we're helping that out. So far this year, we've had 56 unique guests. And we are currently working with 9 in the Heads Up program. The last time I was here last month, I shared with you that we started a new program with a case manager called Heads Up. And just to share with you the challenge we have, the reason I want to keep us in front of you is as you consider funding, just this week I was working with James City County, James City County and York County and United Way on what do we do with folks when we don't have capacity or if there's a situation where they can't stay at the shelter. This ensued a flow chart that they decided. But then they decided, let's do a better flow chart. So I got another flow chart, okay? And with both of those flow charts, I sent an email because I said, well, I have a situation where there's a guest. He's in our shelter. He's handicapped. He's on dialysis. He has kidney failure, so he actually has to try to get transportation to get his dialysis. He's missing toes. What shall I do with him? He's willing to try to get up and down off the mats. That involved, because he gets his benefits from a different county, it's told, well, you got to go to that county. That county then tells me, well, that's nice. He gets the benefits as far as food stamps, but we don't have the funding. James City County has some of that funding. So I said, so my last email was, oh, I see we're playing game of hot potato. But that's what we deal with a lot. And it's because we have, everybody has budgets. You have to have budgets. You have to follow that. I get it. I understand that. And that is why Community of Faith Mission, we're in the historic triangle, so we work with everyone. So that's why we decided to start the Heads Up program. In order to have that, of course, we need funding. We've been blessed with a couple of grants, but we still need additional funding to help with the housing and the utilities. So as you're considering when you're looking at budget and things like that, I just ask that you think about that. We've been very frugal with our money. We spend it as wisely as absolutely possible. So just this time, just as I said, out of the 56 people, and as I said, with the Heads Up, we're not completely off the ground, but we're working through with the funding and program specifics. Those 56 people, out of those 56, 26 of them are James City County residents. So so just about half of them. Okay. And the thing about the funding, this is what's kind of nuts. It drives me nuts, is that James City County and York County, they have funding for anyone from 18 to 25 years old. The majority in our shelter are older than that. We've had one adult so far that's 19, and she had 2 children, so that counts as 3. We have between 26 and 59 who has no services, they have nothing to offer anyone. 43 of the 56 fall in that category. 10 of our guests so far are over 60. So that's what we do. With that Heads Up program, we also will be working towards life skills, things that we take for granted that people just need to learn. Also, budgeting will help with employment. So we just ask that you keep that in consideration. And I'm did good. I have 30 seconds left, but I'll let you slide. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, our next public speaker is Chad Blosser.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, County Administrator, and members of the board. My name is Chad Blosser, and I am a resident here of James City County. And my parents are also individuals. My parents also live here in the county. Before I get into the substance of what it is I'd like to speak to you about, I would like to thank you, but more importantly, the county administrator for such a great staff here in the county. Their response and the Planning Commission's response to me was incredibly quick. I emailed the Planning Commission on a Saturday afternoon, was not expecting anything until the middle of the next week. And over the weekend, it was forwarded to county staff, and I had a response on Monday afternoon. So that was just incredible. I wasn't expecting that at all. I'm here to speak to the fact that, or to let you know that Colonial Heritage, the neighborhood that we live in, is now fully built out at 1,636 residents or homes. At that scale, it essentially functions as a small city within the county of James City. And if I use a conservative estimate of about 1.75 residents per home, that's about 2,800 individuals who live in that particular community. Using, again, a conservative estimate of 30% of those residents, that's 900 individuals who go in and out of that community on a daily basis in one of 2 entrances, either off of Centerville Road or off of Richmond Road. That number doesn't account for individuals such as care providers who come in to assist individuals, delivery vehicles. There are lots of that with everybody purchasing things online these days. Contractors, visitors, etc. There's a substantial load of traffic that comes in and out of that particular community. Both the Richmond Road and Centerville entrances were proffered by Lennar, the builder, to be signalized. It's my understanding that the proffer contributions have been submitted to the county as they were supposed to be. And with that being said, with the full build out of the community, It is my opinion, driving in and out of that community, that those promised improvements need to be delivered to this particular community. The Centerville Road exit or entrance is really the most immediate concern for me. It is a four-way intersection with reduced visibility on one side and absolutely no visibility on the other due to the fact that cars crest a hill and they simply appear abruptly. And if you're not paying attention, there's a possibility of an accident happening. The geometry alone in this intersection just creates a high-risk environment. Layer on the fact that Colonial Heritage is a 55-plus community. These intersections are primarily used by older adults. As we understand, and every transportation study that I could find notes, older adults face predictable challenges in driving, slower reflexes, reduced peripheral vision, and night vision, diminished hearing, and a harder time navigating these wonderful modern vehicles and all the technology that they contain. James City County's senior population makes up more than a quarter of the county's population, and I would assume that they are going to grow as the boomer generation ages fully and those individuals enter into retirement in the next decade. These intersections that I'm speaking to are heavily used by these older adults. Tonight, I am asking the board to ensure that the proffered traffic signals on Centerville Road and Richmond Road are treated as active obligations and are advanced without delay for this particular community. They were promised, they're funded, and they are necessary now. I do understand that VDOT is working and has done a study of Centerville Road, and I have been in touch with them as well. I've got 8 seconds left, but I don't want a tragedy to occur at this particular intersection. So thank you for your time and for continuing to prioritize safety and the mobility of every resident in the county. So thank you.
Sir. Next is Chris Henderson.
Alrighty, good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board, Mr. Stevens, Chris Henderson, 101 Keystone. I want to begin by hoping that everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. We are very fortunate to live in the area in which we live, and the fact that we live in the greatest country on earth in the history of human life. I also wish everybody a Merry Christmas, because we will not have a chance to be together again, and it's important to remember the season and the reason for the season. Tonight, earlier, we heard lots of information about need in the community, and these are real needs. These aren't perceived needs or wants. The chairman awarded the Social Services Division with an honor this evening, recognizing their efforts and contributions towards the well-being of James City County and its citizens. I was stunned to hear the level of service being provided, that we have 13,000 county residents receiving some sort of social services aid. That's incredible. I mean, we are a wealthy community, and yet we have 13,000 of our family, of our friends, and our neighbors that can't make it. And so I want the board to begin the next year and the new year thinking about the less fortunate. And what is it that we can do to improve the lives of the people who spend the night at our local churches? Why don't we have money to build a homeless shelter to provide some dignity to these people who were living on our streets? The man who got hit by the cement truck was homeless. Perry spoke to him many times, bought him Chick-fil-A sandwiches, offered to help him any way I could. He lived in the woods across the street. That shouldn't happen in James City County, and it is really a stain on this community that we have that level of neglect for our fellow citizens and our fellow human beings. With regard to the considerations that you have tonight, you intend to allocate $46 million towards the construction of the municipal complex, or yes, $46 million. And again, I'm going to make the argument that it's not necessary. In fact, Mr. McGlennon even made the argument and the proposition to the school board that they occupy vacant space that's going to be vacant in the proposed building or the coming building. And so, if we have room for the school board, well, what happens when the county needs that space? Or is the reality that the county doesn't really need that space and that the county may never need that space? So I think there's room for further improvement. And I've never seen a PPEA proposal that included the need for an outside construction manager. To me, that should be part of the contract that is paid for by the developer. There's no reason that that shouldn't be under their guaranteed maximum price. That's part of what they should be required to deliver. And our contract should have stipulated that. And if it doesn't, that's another 1.3 million or 1.7 million that goes on top of the budget that is still a fluctuating amount. I still don't know what it's going to cost. At the end of the day, it's going to cost $250 million by the time you throw everything in. So again, it's just, we have more important needs is my argument to you. We have people that are homeless. We have teachers that are underpaid. We have all kinds of problems. But yet we're going to build a monument that nobody's going to use because everybody's on the internet doing their business with the county. So in closing, I had to chuckle at Judge Smith's remarks when she said, be a Celtic and be a servant. And not that it's not a good and worthy goal. I just think that sometimes we get too wrapped up in the me and not enough in the you. And I thank you.
Next speaker is Morgan Moss.
Mr. Stevens, members of the board, thank you for the privilege of talking with you, and thank you, as you have heard tonight, of all the things that are being accomplished. I have a concern about the immigrant communities here in James City County as well as across the country and what's happening with those folks. It follows along some of the lines of what's already been said here. Far too often, those folks are marginalized or their communities are seen as something less than, not persons, neighbors, taxpayers, workers, contributing friends, and law-abiding folks. And we have seen across the country, I'm afraid, and I don't want to see it infect James City County any more than it already has, as people are dehumanized and subjected to fear and terror and abuse. So immigration enforcement, as we've seen in the news, seems to have lost some touch with civility and standards of practice of law enforcement and rule of law and the Constitution. For 40 years, I've worked with the criminal justice system in all kinds of ways of providing services and programming for people. So I kind of have a sense of what works. Results, lawlessness, we don't have to silently tolerate. That can be checked and prosecuted. But intimidation, fear, and terror, we cannot allow this to look like we are supporting any of that. I have run into and know a lot of people who are suffering greatly because of this. We all want violent criminals taken out of our communities and so forth, but proper procedures need to happen, and it doesn't have to terrorize everybody else in the community. It's not so much a political issue, and it often is seen to have been, as it proposed, it's a humanitarian issue. The rule of law and the Constitution had previously assured us, all of us, fair and just treatment. It's never been perfect, but now it's been weaponized in dehumanizing ways, and I thought I really wanted to say something about that because that concerns me dearly. There are violations if we look at solutions, amazing solutions happen when we treat everybody with dignity and respect. And that's how we want to be treated, and I think that's a very important thing. I don't know if you and most of us probably have ever lived in a place where we felt under fear. I have a friend who works with children, and she has this 11-year-old little boy who was separated from his parents when they came in. He has PTSD, he's scared to death. He's at school, he's afraid when he goes home his mom won't be there. At Thanksgiving, the school sent baskets and things to there, and they went to the home. The lady said it was all closed up, dark, no lights, and because she was known by them, she spoke in Spanish and spoke to the little boy and said, you know who it is, and they opened the door, and they were delighted to have him there. You have whistles, I think most of you should have, and I don't think the county administrator, Mr. Stevens, got one, but I need to get you one. Anyway, whistles have become a symbol of solidarity and a way for neighbors to show support for each other, particularly in diverse neighborhoods across the country. And so that was just kind of like a handout that I wanted to present. America's political divide cannot be used as an excuse for injustice. And Mr. Hipple was talking about conversations and being able to talk, when you don't agree with somebody. Right now, the way things are, it's almost like some people are speaking Greek and others are speaking Hebrew, and nobody's doing it. We have got to fix that, and you pointed out the word community has been used quite a bit tonight, and I see that as the way of doing that. So please stop and pay attention, not just as board members, but all of us as citizens, and concern for this community and this community that contributes so much to us. And yet they don't get the recognition that they deserve. I am asking you to please stop and look and listen and pay attention to those folks. They are priceless in James City County. Thank you.
Okay, that concludes our public comment period. We move on to our public hearings. Our Planning Commission representative this evening is Mr. Frank Polster in the back of the room. Our first public hearing is Z250001/MP250002, Liberty Crossing Proffer Amendment and Master Plan Amendment, and Z250002, 6429 Centerville Road rezoning. Sarah Probst will give the staff report.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the Board of Supervisors. Mr. Warren Holland has submitted a boundary line adjustment plat, a BLA, between his property located at 6429 Centerville Road, shown in red on the screen above, and a portion of a perimeter buffer, vegetated buffer, part of the Liberty Crossing Master Plan development. The master plan area is shown in blue. Highlighted, let me click, there we go. Highlighted here is Mr. Holland's property of approximately 0.91 acres, zoned A1, agricultural, and with a single-family dwelling on the property. Highlighted on this screen is a portion of the perimeter vegetated buffer of approximately 9.4 acres, zoned mixed use, MU, and part of the adopted master plan for Liberty Crossing. Once approved, the BLA will remove a portion from the Liberty Crossing perimeter buffer, this hatched area on the screen, and incorporate it into Mr. Holland's property and remove a portion of Mr. Holland's property and incorporate it into the Liberty Crossing vegetative buffer. According to Mr. Holland, the purpose of the BLA is multifold, and that is covered on page 3 of the staff report. Approval of a BLA is achieved through an administrative review. However, one of the consequences of this BLA is that approximately 8,190 square feet of the land would be removed from Liberty Crossing master plan area. This removal changes the density and the development data of the approved master plan for Liberty Crossing, and therefore, prior to the BLA approval being approved, legislative review and approval is required. A rezoning is being requested as the properties subject to the BLA are of different zoning districts. The Liberty Crossing buffer area is zoned MU with a portion to be rezoned A1 to match the zoning district of Mr. Holland's property. Mr. Holland's property is zoned A1 and a portion of it is being rezoned to mixed use, MU, to match the zoning district of the Liberty Crossing buffer. There are two proposals to this legislative action. First is Z25-0001/MP25-0002 to allow the rezoning of a portion of Liberty Crossing perimeter buffer from MU to A1, that's represented in the yellow triangle, and also a minor revision to Liberty Crossing's master plan. The second portion of the proposal is Z25-0002 to allow the rezoning of a portion of Mr. Holland's property from A1 to MU, which is represented in the red triangle. Staff has reviewed both applications and found no negative impacts. The small reduction of the Liberty Crossing master planned area reduces its overall residential density from 6.37 to 6.11 dwelling units per acre. And the number of residential units originally capped at 244 dwelling units has been revised to 234 dwelling units with no further development proposed. Liberty Crossing's perimeter buffer, let me click forward, there we go. Liberty Crossing's perimeter buffer is designated as a natural open space area to ensure that there's no loss of natural open space through the BLA. An existing wooded and undisturbed area, which is part of the Liberty Crossing master plan, represented here in the blue triangle, will be incorporated into the perimeter buffer. The area being removed from the perimeter buffer, represented by the red triangle, equals the area being added to the perimeter buffer, represented by the blue triangle and the smaller orange triangle, so that there's no loss of buffer and no open space loss. The properties are designated mixed use on the comprehensive plan. There's no proposed development changes to the Liberty Crossing residential or commercial areas other than the reduction in density. For Mr. Holland's property, there's no proposed new development with the zoning new development at this time, and the future development will be in accordance with the zoning ordinance and the 2045 comprehensive plan. At its November 5th, 2025 regular meeting, the Planning Commission recommended approval of this application, well, all two applications by a vote of 6-0. Staff recommends that the Board of Supervisors approve application Z25-001/MP25-0002, subject to the proposed proffers, and Z25-0002. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have, and the applicant is also here.
Questions for staff? The only question I would have is that, so he's going to have this lot that goes way back, and then it's going to turn and have that little long triangle that is added to his lot. And is that of any real marginal use to him, or?
As it is currently, it would not be much, but that may be a better question for the applicant.
Okay. All right, thank you. Okay, we'll have the Planning Commission report from Mr. Polster.
There was some discussion with the staff on the boundary line adjustments to make sure that there was no decrease in the open space. We had no speakers at the public hearing, and there was no discussion among the commissioners. And on a roll call vote, the commission voted to recommend approval of the Liberty Bridge Crossing Proffer amendments and master plan amendments with a vote of 6-0. And I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Questions for Mr. Polster? Okay, thank you. All right, I will open the public hearing, and I have Mr. Chris Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Chris Henderson, 101 Keystone. The staff presentation answered my questions. I view it as no harm, no foul. Thank you.
Okay, we have no more speaker cards. I'll go ahead and close the public hearing and look to the board for discussion or a motion.
Motion for approval.
A motion for approval. Mr. Stevens, call the roll.
Mr. Chairman, we just need to make sure that it's for, for both
Oh,
ordinances.
absolutely. Okay, it's for both.
Yes.
Both the proffer amendment, master plan amendment, and the rezoning.
Correct.
One motion will do. Thank you. Okay, we have a motion. Mr. Stevens, call the roll.
Mr. McGlennon?
Aye.
Mr. Hipple?
Aye.
Ms. Knoll?
Aye.
Ms. Larson?
Aye.
Mr. Eisenhower?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Okay, number two, Z25-0002 06/MP25/0004 Proffer and Master Plan Amendment for Ford's Colony Master Plan, Ford's Village. And I've been informed by the applicant's representative, Mr. Getty, that they would like to ask for a deferral to February the 10th of 2026. And so we will not have a staff report or a PC report today, but we will open the public hearing. And I have one speaker card. If you want to speak at this time, you may, but if you speak now, when we open it again, you'll not be allowed to speak the next time. So, Mr. Henderson, would you care to speak now or hold later? Okay, thank you. We'll do that. So I'll have the public hearing is open and will remain open until our February 10th, 2026 meeting. Do I need a motion for deferral on that one? Okay, so I look for a
Chairman, I
motion.
move to defer to February.
Okay, we have a motion. Mr. Stevens, call the roll.
Mr. Hipple.
Aye.
Ms. Knoll.
Aye.
Ms. Larson.
Aye.
Mr. McGlinnan.
Aye.
Mr. Eisenhower.
Okay, all right. We move to an ordinance, number 3, an ordinance to amend and reordain Chapter 10, Solid Waste, Refuse, and Recycling of the Code of James City County, Virginia. Mr. Bob Dittman.
Good evening, Chairman Eisenhower, members of the board, Mr. Stevens. In April 9th of 2024, the board approved moving forward with solid waste consolidation. So one of the natural progressions of that is to amend the current solid waste refuse and recycling ordinance, the code of James City County, Virginia. The General Services Department worked with the county's attorney's office to revise and update Chapter 10, which is currently known as Garbage and Refuse Ordinance. The county for the county to offer opt-in solid waste collection services, the current Chapter 10 ordinance, Garbage and Refuse, must be updated to allow the county to both offer and charge for these services. The amendment and reordination covers those needs. Since Jolly Pond landfill closed in 2015, sections of Chapter 10 were removed. This left the ordinance with non-consecutive numbering of the various sections. The revision and reordination would correct the numbering issue and allow the county to provide and charge for opt-in waste collection services and bring the definitions in line with state code. Since through its history, Chapter 10 has been amended multiple times to address significant changes in state law or county operations. In 1990, the amendment required haulers to obtain permits to identify county and non-county haulers utilizing the Jolly Pond landfill. In 2000, an amendment reflected the change from manager to county administrator. In 2015, the county removed the hauler permitting requirement due to the closure of Jolly Pond landfill. In 2019 and 2024, changes were made to reflect the county subscription-based curbside recycling program and the ability to set fees and charge for the services. Chapter 10.3 through 10.7 of the ordinance on property maintenance will remain unchanged since zoning uses that and cites those sections for enforcement purposes. Chapter 10.8 through 10.14 on refuse removers will remain the same since it governs minimum requirements for equipment. The addition of a comprehensive ordinance which provides the county the opportunity to offer and charge for opt-in solid waste and recycling collection services prior to April 2029. It also provides the Board of Supervisors with the authority to approve the rates charged for these services. A provision to allow the Director of General Services to develop criteria as to where these services will be offered. The initial target area is the Roberts District. Finally, the ability to develop rules and regulations for reduced fees and charges. General Services is requesting that the Board of Supervisors approves and reordains the amended Chapter 10 Solid Waste, Refuse, and Recycling Ordinance to allow the county to establish the parameters of an opt-in trash collection service. Board approval of this amendment will not limit or codify how countywide trash collection service will look as we pass the 5-year mark in April 2029. Separate board actions will be required for the county to enter into an opt-in collection agreement, and the board will also have to authorize and set the fee structure for these services. And would welcome any questions.
Any questions for staff? Okay, we have no planning commission report on this one. The public hearing is already open from the November 12th meeting. And I have one speaker card, Mr. Chris Henderson.
Mr. Chair, Chris Henderson, 101 Keystone. My good friend, Digby Solomon, after my earlier comments, accused me of sounding like a Democrat, so I'm going to attempt to restore my Republican bona fides as a part of this, as a small government advocate. Countywide trash collection administered by county government is going to be a boondoggle of epic proportions. All right? There is nothing that county government can do better than the private sector. And so I would discourage anything that advances the ball towards a county-administered trash collection program. I just don't think it's the job of this particular county government to pick up waste when we have a plethora of well-qualified, highly skilled, well-capitalized companies that are currently performing that service. And as a resident of Ford's Colony, who just entered into a long-term agreement with a trash collection company and who benefited substantially from that, I think that those decisions are best made by local homeowners and local homeowner associations to the extent that they can collectively negotiate discounts for service in their immediate area. And the great thing about the Fords Colony arrangement is if we don't like our service provider, we can fire them. And it doesn't take an act of Congress to undo it. So with that, I thank you.
We have no more speaker cards, so I will close the public hearing and look to the board for discussion and our motion.
I'll move the motion.
Okay, we have a motion. Mr. Stevens, call the roll.
Mr. McGlennon?
Aye.
Mr. Hipple?
Aye.
Ms. Larson?
Aye.
Ms. Knoll? Mr. Eisenhower?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, we
Mr.
move.
Chairman, can I just take a moment to express my appreciation to Mr. Dittman and General Services staff and to the County Attorney's Office for the hard work they put into this. This opportunity really does provide the county with a way in which citizens who don't happen to have alternative ways of benefiting from reduction in traffic through their neighborhoods and an ability to provide an opportunity for a contractor to provide services in a more efficient manner than currently exists.
Number 4 is LU 20-0002, Eastern State Parcel C Land Use Designation Change. Morgan Reisinger to give the staff report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and good evening to the board. Following on from your discussion at your business meeting earlier this afternoon, staff has included 2 resolutions in your packet tonight. One which would be to redesignate the Eastern State Parcel C property to the mixed use level 1, and the other to designate it to mixed use level 2. Staff welcomes the board's discussion tonight and also point out the applicant team is in attendance as well. Thank you.
Any questions for staff? Okay, thank you. There is no PC report tonight, so the public hearing has already been open since October the 14th, and we have speaker cards on this one. Mr. Henderson, you're up again.
Didn't want to hear from the applicant first, or is there no applicant
I
because
think
there's
the
not, it's not
applicant
subject
is-
to an SUP, it's the
It
county
was, I
action.
think it's because it's continued from before. We will
Okay,
deal
all
with
right.
it.
Well, at any rate, being more than a casual observer of county development, I actually view the redesignation of the parcel in blue to be perfectly consistent with the comp plan, the Newtown plan, the Crossroads study, all of it. So I think it's a logical extension of Newtown. The density question really doesn't bother me because what they're proposing is less than what's authorized by the actual ordinance. And I would in fact encourage them to add greater density. And you may see that happen as a result of whatever action you take this evening. And with respect to the red parcels, hopefully that's excluded from the area because that's a completely different discussion. And it's a different matter entirely, given its lack of connectivity to Newtown and the fact that it will become kind of a city in and of itself at a very strategic location. And I think it's going to warrant a lot more discussion and thought than a simple wave of the wand to make it mixed use 1 or 2. So with that, thank you.
Next is Vernon Getty.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'm Vernon Getty. It's a pleasure to be here tonight on behalf of the applicant. We do have a host of people here I'll quickly introduce. Mike Youngblood is one of the principals of ABVA Development. Also here are Jason Grimes with AES Consulting Engineer, Josh Running, our environmental consultant with Stantec, and John Hopke, our architect and planner. And finally, Scott Grafton, the Vice President of the Newtown Commercial Association. And I'll note that Jack Espinal, the President of the Residential Association, was here with us at 2 but couldn't come tonight. I think you all have letters from both of them. I'll simply say we're appreciate the discussion this afternoon, and we think the mixed use level 1 is probably the appropriate designation for the parcel. And with that, we'd be glad to answer any questions you might have of us.
Thank you. Any?
Thanks.
Okay, we have one more, and that's Scott Grafton.
Good evening. Thanks for allowing me to be here this evening. My name is Scott Grafton. I've been a resident of the Williamsburg area since the day I was born. Been in James City County for quite a while now. Own a business in James City County and Ironbound Gym over in the Newtown area. And I have the unique pleasure of kind of wearing a few hats, which many of you know I tend to do quite often. You mentioned Jack Aspinall earlier. He is the president of the Residential Association, representing more than 650 residents, homes there. And we're connected through the Commercial Association through a shared amenities easement, which is a deeded parcel that we meet on every year. I serve on that committee as well. And also, I'm the vice president of the Commercial Association, which has 1,000 square feet of commercial property and also another 400 residents. So I'm kind of going to wear a couple hats. This evening, I do have the letter from Jack Espinal. I talked to him today and thought that it would be appropriate for me to read it on his behalf, since we do work very well together, the Commercial Association and the Residential Association. Thank you for sending me your updated plans for the Westwood development yesterday. I will use the information in my briefing to our residents at our annual meeting on December 10th, 2025 at Legacy Hall. Our residents continue to be concerned about the commercial development in the areas around Newtown. Based upon currency vacancy rates, additional commercial development is simply not needed. Further, commercial development produces significantly more hardscape because of the needs for additional parking. This results in more water runoff and is not environmentally sound as residential development where much of the runoff percolates naturally into the water table. The additional vehicle traffic for commercial areas also has a negative impact on the Newtown community. Our Charlotte Park owners on Rollison near Olive Drive, as well as many others in Newtown, will be pleased with the additional buffer created by the elimination of 4 of the originally planned single-family homes. This and the overall reduction in density and the removal of apartments will eliminate the vast majority of any remaining Newtown opposition to the Westwood development. I really appreciate the efforts that you have made in making Westwood acceptable to our residents. Sincerely, respectfully, Jack Espinal. On behalf of myself and the Commercial Association, I've written a letter as well. I am writing in reference to the Westwood project proposal. As the Vice President of the Newtown Commercial Association, I'm in full support of this project as it will add to the wonderful Newtown community that was established over the last 20-plus years ago in James City County. The addition of mainly residents will help support the Commercial Association that is here, as it is people that make the association grow and thrive. Also, having a little additional commercial space in the proposed project area will enhance the experience of those that live there while adding support to the main commercial association in the heart of Newtown. On a personal note, I've owned, as I mentioned earlier, Ironbound Gym since 2001 and have had the opportunity to move and build in Newtown in 2006 and recently expand in May right across the street again in Newtown. Since then, we have grown our business mainly due to serving people in the local area and others in our immediate surroundings. A gym, along with other businesses in the community, do best where there are people nearby, as it creates a sense of a larger community. The Westwood project would simply add to the Newtown community and grow our presence not only as a gym, but as part of the whole Newtown area itself. Thank you for the opportunity to speak here this evening, and I look forward to seeing this project thriving in our future. Thank you.
Sure. Okay, that's the last speaker card. So I'll close the public hearing and look to the board for discussion and a motion.
For the,
I think we had agreed that we were going to make the motion for the LU1.
yes, I will move that motion.
Okay, so we have a motion to adopt the LU1 ordinance or motion. Okay, Mr. Stevens, call the roll.
Ms. Knoll?
Aye.
Ms. Larson?
Aye.
Mr. McGlinnan?
Aye.
Mr. Hipple?
Aye.
Mr. Eisenhower?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay. That concludes our public hearings. We now move to board considerations.
I just want to take a second because Mr. Grafton has not been here, I don't think, before. And I just want to thank you because Ironbound does a lot. And by you taking an additional space in Newtown, you've just really contributed to this community for a very long time. I just want to take the opportunity to say thank you for that. So.
Board considerations, our first phase of a comprehensive agreement for Consolidated Government Center / Library. Mr. Brad Ryanberg of the staff presentation.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members. It's a pleasure to be here this evening. Mr. Stevens, Mr. Kinsman. What you have before you is a resolution authorizing Mr. Stevens to enter into an agreement for the first phase of a comprehensive agreement for the Consolidated Government Center. We have been talking about this for years, from the initial space study back in 2020 to your first interim agreement back in January of 24, to the second interim agreement in December of 24, moving on to the third interim agreement or early site work package in October of 2025, our groundbreaking ceremony that was held in November. And if you've been by the site, you've seen a lot of the site work that is going on out there currently. County now desires to enter into an initial phase of a comprehensive agreement that will begin actual construction on the site in the coming months. The first phase of a comprehensive agreement is intended to cover the costs of pre-ordering steel, concrete work, initial plumbing, HVAC, and electrical work. The cost for the services provided under this first phase of a comprehensive agreement is not to exceed $46 million. The board is of the understanding that the total anticipated cost of design and construction of the Consolidated Government Center will not exceed $179 million. Funding for this phase of the project was previously approved in the county's capital improvement program, and staff recommends adoption of the attached resolution. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Questions for staff? Look to the board for discussion and or motion.
Motion for approval.
We have a motion for approval. Mr. Stevens, call the roll.
Ms. Larson?
Aye.
Ms. Knoll?
Aye.
Mr. Hipple?
Aye.
Mr. McGlinnan?
Aye.
Mr. Eisenhower?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay. The next one is contract award, construction management services for Consolidated Government Center / Library. Mr. Reinheimer again.
Yes, sir. This was second, obviously, because if that didn't go through, we wouldn't need this. But this is an award to authorize a construction management company to provide oversight of the construction project. As you know, I guess I've sort of been serving in this role for the past probably 3 years. But we certainly got to the point with beginning of construction that is certainly beyond my capabilities and my abilities. So we did an RFP process. We worked with the budgeting office, or not the budgeting, purchasing office, and put out an RFP. We received 8 different proposals for construction management services. We narrowed it down to 3, where we conducted interviews, in-person interviews with those 3 organizations. Narrowed it down to 2 after that process. Had a written assignment, 2 written assignments that we put out to both those organizations and received responses. We had formed a working group to review all these proposals, conduct the interviews, and then review the written proposals that we received. And it was a unanimous decision by the board, the working group at least, to select McDonough, Bolliard, and Peck Incorporated, otherwise known as MBP, to be the provider of these services. The cost of these services are not to exceed $1,782,523. They're providing oversight of the construction project, which will include on-site every day, 8 hours, 10 hours a day, project management services, enhanced commissioning, special inspections, material testing, and other services that we have requested. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have at this time.
Questions for Reinheimer? Questions?
We've worked with MVP and they've worked with the school system, I believe, prior, and
Yes, sir. They're actually managing the sports facility right now. That's one of their projects, Williamsburg Police Department, and were brought on as a consultant for us early on in the initial stages of this process.
and that was a satisfactory experience.
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if there are no questions, I'd move the approval of the contract award.
You have a motion, Mr. Rowe?
Ms. Knoll?
Aye.
Mr. Hipple?
Aye.
Mr. McGlinnan?
Aye.
Ms. Larson?
Aye.
Mr. Eisenhower?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, that ends our board considerations. We are now to board requests and directives. It's your last meeting.
Last one, it's gonna take a while. Y'all ready?
Wind your clock.
Yeah, that's right.
Certainly, I would like to say a couple of words before you get the last word.
Okay.
If may. I just really want to thank you for your service on this board and for the opportunity to get to know you and to work with you. We had an opportunity earlier today to share some thoughts with you, and I'll just reiterate a couple of those things that I can credit you to a great degree with helping to foster a more collaborative and open board of supervisors that really work together regardless of partisan affiliation, regardless of ideological perspective or whatever, to serve the community. I think that in many ways you brought some real strengths to the board that we don't always have available, such as your background in construction and many of the volunteer activities you're involved in, especially the fire department, so that we could benefit from those experiences and that kind of activity. I've really enjoyed getting to know you personally because I think you really do have a unique perspective as a county resident for your lifetime and as somebody who has seen an enormous amount of change and contributed to that as well. And finally, I'd say that it gives me another reason to want to come to these board meetings every twice a month just to know what outfit you'll be wearing that night. So I thank you for all those reasons and more for your service on the board and appreciate very much your friendship and your collaboration for the good of the county.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to say thank you for being such a good seatmate for 2 years. I
Thank you.
really appreciate it and all your help, telling me how to vote. Not always, but it was a pleasure.
Thank you very
It was a
much.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Well, I've got to talk about a couple of other things before we right? This is our opportunity,
You
and
may
then
do
I
that,
will wrap
yes.
up with you. I just wanted to mention that Supervisor McGlinnan and I attended our school liaison meeting last week. We've talked about the traffic with the issue with the worry about people picking up and dropping off instead of riding the school bus, and just the danger in some of the neighborhoods and on the busy roads. I went to Vaco for Phyllis Sirico's retirement reception, who's been serving Vaco as the attorney and therefore serving all of us. Had a school visit to Hornsby, which went very, very well. And I'm supposed to do another school visit. I believe Ms. Null will be on as well next week. I want to say congratulations to Ms. Wainwright and Mr. Eisenhower, who took their oath of office earlier this evening, and congratulations on that. And I don't know if I've got any more words to say, but it has been a pleasure, and I just appreciate your dedication to your community has just been just something to watch, and I know you feel it about that you want the very best for not only the people of James City County, but for James City County itself. And I've never, in any conversation I've had with you, I've never doubted a motive of yours. It's just sincerity. And I know that your family means everything to you, Kristen and all your children. And just to hear you talk about your family, and I've enjoyed that. Mary and I think you've married two of your children. One went better than the other, I
Yes.
think, but hey, that's all right. And also, not just that, but your faith. You've never shied away from your faith and telling people about that. And sometimes you need some faith in this job because it can be tough. And so to have that, I know, has helped carry you. And I'm just appreciative, and I'm appreciative of your recognition of the hardworking women and men that help do this every day. And you've always just been so cognizant of that, and all the work that you've done, not just for James City County, but for this region as a whole. And that's going to be hard. That's big shoes to fill. And I think Ms. Wainwright will put her own stamp on it for sure. But for sure also, you will be missed. And I will personally miss you a lot. Now, I want to thank you. You've been a good friend, and I hope that will continue, even if I have to see you at the Hardee's drive-through and give you a wave. So,
I'll make my comments fairly brief, like what we discussed earlier, but I wanted to make them public as well, because Michael and I early on had locked horns a little bit, and I do credit, as Mr. McGlinnan has said, that Michael's willingness to engage with us and make this a collaborative process has been absolutely phenomenal for not only the board, but for the citizens of James City County. I think that they see how we work together and working for the common good. And I think that a lot of that credit goes to you. So I appreciate what you did there. I will tell you that there are some things that occurred on your watch that I want to reiterate. We tried earlier, before you came on the board, to deal with the rural lands issue, and did not succeed. And we came back with your help, and were able to achieve the 1 for 20 on the rural lands, which I think is a phenomenal achievement, because it does help preserve our rural lands from overdevelopment of these 3-acre little mini complexes. For anybody who hasn't been around for a while, Michael's forte has been transportation. The HRBT, one of the largest infrastructure projects in the world almost, is something he's had a very active hand in shaping, and that will shortly help maybe alleviate congestion, and maybe I won't be so reluctant to go to the other side a little farther after that. I will tell you that adding the third lane to I-64 from down lower in the peninsula up past to almost the beyond the north end of 199, was a major achievement. I never expected to see that in my lifetime. And I think that has had a material impact on the quality of life for a lot of our citizens in the area. And his leadership on the county complex, he'll tell you that when we first started, I was a very reluctant guy who says, who is this crazy guy that wants to build a 7-story building? But over the time period, we've worked it out, we've discussed it, and it's evolved. We've locked horns about where it ought to go and traffic problems and this and that and the other. But ultimately, we got there, not as fast as Michael wanted it, but we got there. And I think we will be very happy with the product, and I think our citizens will be well served for the long time. That's essentially your legacy, I think, that you will leave for this county. So thank you for all you have done for our county. And I do hope you will still pick up the phone when I call you.
I will. Thank you very much. And I want to say how much I've enjoyed working with each and every one of you. Y'all have made me a better person, and y'all have made me a better leader. And, you know, even though we've looked at things totally different at times and wonder, you know, how am I going to change that direction? What am I going to do there? And we've always been able to work together and find a middle ground. And, you know, if the rest of the world could do that, and that's not me, that's us, that's a team. You know, if the rest of the world could work like that and say, you know what, I think he's crazy believing in that, but I think he's got a good point there. And, you know, some of the things I brought to y'all, I've seen y'all look at it like, oh my God, what is this? You know, this is, but we've figured it out and we've compromised. And I think that's the biggest part of life and learning how to work amongst each other and all that. I want to thank staff and what a wonderful staff we have. And I keep telling people that and all that. But, you know, until you sit down and have a cup of coffee with people and realize who they are, you really don't know them. You know, and sit down and talk about them. We all have issues. We all have problems. We all have things we have to decide and do and not do and don't like or do like. And we all carry our things. And during this Christmas season, if you see somebody in need or in want, or you just think that maybe 2 seconds of a conversation can change the whole thing. And it's amazing. You can go by somebody and they're put there for a reason, and you smile at them or say, how's your day or whatever. And it's amazing what you can change in their life. And so I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and tell them I have had a wonderful time doing this job. And I'll always remember it. And I'm not going to stop doing things with James City County. That's just who I am. And I know I've got 3 children that are coming on board, hopefully for James City County, 2 police and 1 fire. And can't wait to see them start their career and join the department and be part of James City County. And they've always wanted to be in James City County. So it's gonna be neat to look at the next leadership. And whatever they do in those departments, I know that they'll be working in a first-class community. And I do have one more meeting with HR TAC and Scott. I don't know if I got all enough stories, but I think I'll have enough stories to get us through the back and forth.
I have no doubt.
And you know, Scott as a county administrator has done a wonderful job. And I can't name everybody in staff that everything you do, but Scott has done a wonderful job. He goes down with me. We spend all day down there in Chesapeake. Every month we're going down there and we're spending all day. We're going over things we're talking about. And he says sometimes I tell the story twice. I don't remember telling it twice, but I may do that. And but we have a blast going down there, and he's good about going down there with me. And good leadership and conversations that we have. And Adam's sitting over there. We have worked out quite a few deals in the background and thought about what are we going to do here? How do we move this? And Adam's been such a joy because he keeps me out of jail. And I need that. Adam will guide you in the right direction and say, well, I wouldn't do that. I would do this. And as I tell everybody, you know, I say what I think, and that's what I am, and that's what I'll always be, and I'm not going to change that, and I enjoy that. And but I want to thank y'all all for giving me the opportunity to be in this position and trusted me enough to stay in this position and keep going. So I want to thank the staff. I want to thank the citizens. I want to thank the board. And it has been a blast. I'm going to miss y'all. And John even said, who's going to tell us all the funny stories when we're sitting in the back? And he said, maybe you can put them on air somewhere and we can look at them before. So we'll see if we do that. But thank y'all all, and you'll see me around somewhere. Thank you.
Okay. Barbara, you have anything to add? Anything else?
I just told him.
She added it.
I
Okay.
did.
Okay. I mean, as far as
Requests and directives.
Requests and directives.
requests and
It's
directives.
not all about me.
No, I missed my school meeting was on Monday, which was canceled, so I didn't get to that. That's about it, but I'm going to the next two.
Okay. Ruth, anything do you want?
I went through my list.
Okay. John? Okay, I'll be very brief. I want to, first of all, thank the board for putting me in a hot seat this year. And I've enjoyed your support as chair this year, and I really want to thank you for that opportunity. It's been a pretty productive year for us. I remember I wrote down about 3 or 4 things on a piece of paper when we first started last January and said, here are the priorities. Number 1 was schools contract. We got that done. It wasn't easy, but we got it done. County complex, we got that done. Strategic plan update, finished that tonight. And I know that Adam and his crew are working on a project that is much longer than 1 year, and that's the ordinance, zoning ordinance rewrite. And so that's a major project that's going on, and I think that we've made a lot of progress. A lot of things are productive. As I've mentioned earlier today, the challenges we face going forward, potential federal cuts, then state funding is questionable, and the impact that that has on our citizens. And I think we've seen that amply demonstrated tonight about the impact in our community. A couple of other things we did. I did attend a celebration of business. I did want to comment on the police swearing in. We had 7 new officers who are now sworn in and doing their training. And I was very impressed with their backgrounds and their, I think they're going to be a wonderful addition to our police department. I did attend the large staff meeting. If you haven't done that with Scott periodically, it's, I think, really worthwhile. You get a lot more direct feedback from the staff down to a lower level, and it was very informative. I will say on the 23rd of November, I went out to Freedom Park to an event that was sponsored by the Sons of the American Revolution. Full disclosure, I'm a member of that organization. And it was a ceremony marking the commemoration of the 25th of November, 1774, when James City County formed the Committee of Observation to observe and report on those who were violating the ban on doing trade with England. And as mentioned at that ceremony, that was essentially one of the very first organizations of true county government as we know it in James City County. So I appreciate the fact that they observed that. We had the December 1st joint meeting for schools, which I think was a very, very productive. And I'll close with one of my favorite things. I'm wearing my holiday tie tonight, so I get my Christmas trees out. One of the things I get involved in with the Chamber of Commerce, I was a board rep at the Chamber of Commerce a few years back, and they put me on the Military Affairs Committee, and they haven't let me off. And so I've been a captive at that committee for quite a while. One of the projects we started about 5 years ago was called Home for the Holidays, where we collected funds in order to provide travel stipends for young enlisted military members at our local bases to try to go home for Christmas to visit their families. It started out fairly small, 20-something folks we were able to send 1 year. The second year it was like 40. The third year, back in 2023, it was 45. Last year we made a record. We sent 90 people home. And that was the only time we've ever had enough money to cover all the applicants. This year, the need was phenomenal. We are able to send 145. Unfortunately, the pool of applicants was 229. So we had some tough decisions to make, but we are awarding these $300 travel stipends to, at the Coast Guard tomorrow at 10 a.m. and on Friday at 10 a.m. at the Naval Weapons Station. And that represents a $43,500 that was raised by our community from businesses, individuals, veterans groups, and people who just really opened up their hearts in a very tough time. And I want to thank everyone who participated in that. That's all I have. Reports of the county administrator.
Yes, sir. A few comments. First, I would like to just recognize Mr. Hipple. I know we've said a lot of things today. You've covered most of it. I would just say and I won't cover all of it, but from a staff side, I do hear from a lot of our staff. They've enjoyed working with you. They appreciate your approach, and they're sorry you're leaving, but we'll still harass you from time to time.
Thank you.
I would say on a personal note, I really do appreciate the support and guidance over the years, and I thoroughly have enjoyed our conversations and look forward to more of those as we go forward in time. So thank you again for your service and what you've done for the community. I'd also mention just some other ongoing operational things. Our leaf collection is underway. Our contractor is a little bit behind. Our staff is trying to jump in and help finalize that and get it done in December. So if you haven't been by your house yet and you're wondering where we are, we're coming. We'll get there, and then we do have a pickup date the week of the 18th or after the 18th that we'd come back for areas that we might have missed. Also missing with shopping, just be safe and awareness when people are out shopping this time of year. There are folks that are looking for opportunities to take advantage of those of us that aren't as aware of that. Keep your packages out of sight, vehicles locked. Just be alert to where you are, where you're parking, where you're walking, and look after one another. And I might be a little late on our winter weather safety tips. We've had the experience Friday and Monday of our first winter weather. In addition to making sure you have supplies in your home to weather a storm, you need vehicle safety kits. You need to look after your pets, and certainly as it gets colder, watch out for freezing pipes because they still are predicting a pretty tough winter for us. So that's all I have, sir.
Okay, thank you. With that, we are ready for adjournment until 4 p.m. on January 13th, 2026 for the organizational meeting. Could I have a motion to that effect?
Motion.
Okay, we have a motion. Mr. Stevens, call the roll.
Aye.
Ms. Knoll.
Aye.
Ms. Larson.
Aye.
Mr. McGlinnan. Mr. Rice.
Aye. Okay, we are adjourned. All right.
I'd like to call to order the James City Service Authority Board of Directors regular meeting. Call to order. Mr. Powell, call the roll, please.
Mr. Hipple?
Here.
Ms. Larson? Here. Mr. McGlinnan?
Here.
Mr. Eisenhower?
Here.
And Ms. Knoll?
Here. You have any presentations, sir?
No, ma'am.
Public comment?
No, ma'am.
Tonight's consent calendar consists of the following items: the proposed holiday for December 26th, 2025, and a minutes adoption.
Motion for approval.
Motion to approve. Mr. Call a roll.
Mr. Hipple?
Aye.
Ms. Larson?
Aye.
Mr. McGlinnan?
Aye.
Mr. Eisenhower?
Aye.
Ms. Knoll?
Aye. Public hearings?
No public hearings.
Board considerations tonight. Contract award $785,000 for the lift station 6-2 upgrade. And Mr. Powell, you have someone else to make the presentation, or is that?
This one's me. Mr.
This one's
Mr.
you.
Canning's coming
Okay.
up later.
Go for it.
System growth and increased pressures in the HRSD force main have created operational challenges for the JCSA lift station located at 174 Forest Heights Road, necessitating improvements to improve the level of service and prevent overflows. This project consists of structural rehabilitation of the building, installation of 2 pumps, a pump hoisting system, electrical panels, a generator, and variable frequency drives that will control the pump and motor speeds. After an invitation for bids was advertised, 1 bid was received from Shaw Construction in the amount of $785,000. Shaw Construction has successfully completed work for JCSA in the past, and staff recommends approval of the resolution awarding the contract to Shaw Construction in the amount of $785,000.
Contract award.
Mr. Hipple?
Aye.
Ms. Larson?
Aye.
Mr. McGlinnan?
Aye.
Mr. Eisenhower?
Aye.
Ms. Knoll?
Aye. Number 2, the contract award $998,290 for the Kingsmill Force Main installation.
Mr. Canning, our chief wastewater engineer, is going to make this presentation.
Thank you. The existing 20-inch ductile iron sewer force main pipe from Kingsmill to the Anheuser-Busch Brewery pump station was installed in the early 1970s. Is approaching its end of its useful life. A new 18-inch PVC sewer force main will be installed parallel to the existing pipe to maintain the current level of service and provide redundancy. The new pipe path crosses numerous utilities in a confined area, including the Colonial Pipeline, a main power line, and two large Hampton Road Sanitation District force mains. Bids for the Kingsmill force main installation projects were solicited from the three firms awarded contracts in April of this year for annual water and wastewater construction and repair services. One bid for $998,000 was received by Henry S. Branscombe LLC and it was determined to be fair and reasonable and consistent with engineering estimates. Funds are available in the Sewer Capital Improvement Program budget for this project. Staff recommends approval of the attached resolution awarding the $998,290 contract for Kingsmill force main installation to Henry S. Branscombe LLC. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Move for the approval of the contract award with a mention that the fact that this reminds us that we have an awful lot of infrastructure for our sewer and water system that is now 50 years old or older. And so important for us to keep on top of that. Thank you.
Mr. Powell, call the roll, please.
Mr. Hipple.
Aye.
Ms. Larson.
Aye.
Ms. McGlinnan.
Aye.
Mr. Eisenhower.
Aye.
Ms. Knoll.
Aye. Contract award $456,183 for Kingspoint Water System Improvement Design.
Speaking of infrastructure that's 50 or 60 years old, this existing water distribution system serving approximately 232 single-family homes in the Kingspoint subdivision was installed in the 1960s. This system consists of approximately 20,000 linear feet of water main and requires replacement to maintain reliability. Upsizing the lines will also enhance public safety by increasing fire flow capacity. In conjunction with this project, approximately 152 sewer service connections will be installed to properties that are currently served by on-lot septic systems or are vacant lots. 6 firms responded to an RFP for engineering services, and Rummel, Klepper, and Call, also known as RKK, was selected as the most qualified. Price of $456,183,000 was negotiated. Staff recommends approval of the resolution authorizing the award of the Kingspoint Water Systems Improvement Design Project to RKK in the amount of $456,183.
Happy to move the contract award.
Mr. Hipple.
Aye.
Ms. Larson.
Aye.
Mr. McGlinnan.
Aye.
Mr. Eisenhower.
Aye.
Ms. Knoll.
Aye. Board requests and directives? None?
I've got a few.
General manners update?
Oh,
I was going to say, I got
Michael
one
has something to
question
say.
I wanted to bring up real quick.
It's on his
I
list.
found out recently that in one of my neighborhoods that I had absolutely no concept didn't have sewer service. I've got probably, 70, 80, almost 100 homes that are on very narrow, very small lots, and that all are on septic. And it's sandwiched in Williamsburg West Country Club Drive area right there by Ford's Colony is all around it, and they all have sewer, and this community does not. And I've got some houses that are experiencing problems with the failing septic and the inability to actually come up with a separate system or an alternate drain field. So I've asked the JCSA to take a look at that community, and I'm sure we may have others like it that we're unaware of. That we, especially because, I thought, I know we had some septics in Windsor Forest, but the sewer is in there. It's just some of them haven't hooked up. This is a case where it's just not there. And I think it's something that ultimately we're going to have to provide because otherwise some of those lots, when they fail, will not be habitable. And they're existing homes. So I think that's something we want to look at in that particular case, but I urge you all to look at your own districts and see areas where that might be the same kind of a project, so we can look at that as a whole community.
General manners update?
Just a couple things. Want to wish each one of you a Merry Christmas and remind you of our JCSA holiday luncheon next Thursday, the 18th. Starts at 11 a.m. So I hope you will be able to attend. We'd love to see you there. And then secondly, I don't know that I should necessarily be the one to get the last word about Mr. Hipple, but since the Service Authority is going second, I will take advantage of the opportunity.
Don't think you're going to get the last word.
That's right. Okay, good point.
So, as has been noted, we had an opportunity earlier today to recognize Mr. Hipple, but I think I'd be remiss if I didn't just say publicly, on behalf of the JCSA, we really appreciate your support over the years. Your support for the staff and some of the compensation and benefit issues over the years have been greatly appreciated by the staff. And as I've said before, your focus on long-range planning and long-range funding and putting money aside in reserves and planning for the future has really been a great benefit to the JCSA and its customers. I just want to thank you for all your support, not just for JCSA, but you've given me a lot of support personally over the years. And I'm greatly appreciative, and I'll just say that I hope that you and I will still meet at Southern Pancake every now and then for breakfast, even if you're not on the board. So, but best wishes to you and your family, and I'm sure our paths will continue to cross. But thank you for everything.
Thank you, and they definitely will. And I want to say thank you for all you've done and your leadership and everybody in the Service Authority. What great group of men and women you have there, and how wonderful they're, supporting our community on all that. And I was thinking tonight, I said, I remember when you were thinking about moving over into that position and all that, and you and I talked, and I said, just think one day you're in that position and you'll be sitting at home drinking a beer watching our meeting, and now we've got you last year.
I know, that's okay.
It didn't work tonight. It just didn't work. And you've done a great job, and you've been a good leader over there for your team. And I've watched the whole group bloom over there. And it's your leadership and your style, and you're just a good person. And thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay. That's it for you too?
That's it. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'll move to
So-
adjourn to 4 p.m. on January 13th, 2026 for the organizational meeting.
Mr. Hipple?
Aye.
Ms. Larson?
Aye.
Mr. McGlinnan?
Aye.
Mr. Eisenhower?
Aye.
And Ms. Knoll?
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the
Merry Christmas.
presentation, too. Good job.
Thank
Thank you, Mr. Kenny.
You'll keep your whistle.
You want